Gonna give it a second so that we're on. There we go. We're online. Mr. Bryce is feeling under the weather, so he is joining us online. But thank you all for coming. We have a packed agenda. We are going to go a little out of order so that we can do the student presentations first and the retiree honorees so that we can let you all leave and you don't have to stay for the entire board meeting. So with all of that, I'm going to officially call the meeting to order. And pursuant to the Public Meeting Act, public notice of this meeting has been given by the board secretary in the following manner: posting written notice on the official bulletin board at the Voorhees Township Public Schools Administrative Building on July 8th, 2024 and May 8th, 2025, sending written notice to the Courier Post on July 8th, 2024 and May 8th, 2025, filing written notice with the clerk of Voorhees Township on July 8th, 2024 and May 8th, 2025, and posting on the Voorhees Township website on July 8th, 2024 and May 8th, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bryce?
Here.
Ms. Cadover?
Here.
Mrs. Munyon?
Here.
Mr. Rosen?
Here.
Mr. Rosner?
Here.
Mrs. Rudder?
Here.
Mrs. Stewart?
Here.
Ms. Verdi?
Here.
Mrs. Watson?
Here. Okay, we are going to turn it over to Principal Salz for the first presentation.
Thank you, President Watson, members of the board, and Dr. Hackett. Good evening. I am Mrs. Salz, principal of Signal Hill School, and tonight I have the honor of recognizing a very special student. This school year, our fourth graders received a visit from the county surrogate, Mrs. Michelle Gentek Mayer, and they learned facts about our county and its representatives. Students were sworn in as present commissioners of Camden County and learned about their roles in our local government. They loved getting to know more about our county and were eager to participate in the Constitutional Officers Association of New Jersey's annual My County Poster Contest. According to the surrogate's office, there were 400 submissions for this year's contest across the entire county. And I'm proud to share that one of our Voorhees students was not only selected from the 400 submissions, but won first place. This student's poster included the names, titles, and portraits of each Camden County Board Commissioner. On behalf of Signal Hill School, we are all so incredibly proud. Congratulations to fourth grade student Sadie Riviello.
I'm going to take this opportunity. This is one of the perks of being the board president. Sadie is like a daughter to me, and she is my daughter's best friend. And I have to say that not only is she incredibly talented, but she's also one of the kindest human beings that I've ever witnessed. My daughter is so lucky to call you her friend because you are an excellent example of what children should be like in our community. Thank you so much, Sadie, and thank you for making us all proud. Do you want to speak? You want to say anything? I know I'm putting you on the spot. You don't have to.
Well, congratulations, Sadie. We have a gift for you. We just went to go get it. We have a gift for you, and we want you to keep on drawing, keep on smiling, and keep on being so wonderful. You have made all of us very proud.
Okay, Miss McGill, you're next up.
Hello, I'm Miss McGill. I'm from Crescent School. I teach art. I think I've been here about 14 years. You saw me last year. I really am just bringing to you a small sampling of what the district is creating in our art department. You can look through. I don't know if you had a chance to walk through. There's some really great stuff out there. Please, if you haven't taken the time, please walk through and see what our schools are creating. There's some really great stuff out there. So I hope that you are happy and you kind of, give yourself a few minutes and enjoy what's there. And I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to bring it to you because I would feel like there's more exposure and it's better for the art department that way. Do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you. Everything that's out here is absolutely exceptional. So thank you so much for sharing this
Thank you.
beautiful artwork with us.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. At this time, we're going to recognize people that we wish the best, but we wish we can keep them a little bit longer, our retirees. Thank you for the years you have devoted to nurturing and educating our students. Through your care, commitment, and guidance, you have given them strong roots, foundations built on knowledge and character and competence. Because of you, they now have wings, ready to soar toward the dreams and futures full of promise. As you begin the next chapter, may you look back with pride and forward with joy. You've made a lasting difference. Best wishes to each of you, and I hope to see you next week at our luncheon. Congratulations to our retirees.
Jennifer Brand Support. Deborah Ingram. Marla Hackett. Pat Middleton. Sandra Rocco. And they may be in attendance, so I just want to make sure that we give the appropriate recognition. Lydia Baum, Arnie Mitchell, Charlie Principe, Michael Redford, Don Young. There aren't enough thank yous to let you know how incredibly appreciative we are for the many, many, many years between you that you have dedicated to our schools. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to take a pause and allow everyone who doesn't want to stay for the exciting events to come. But you are all more than welcome to stay, but we will let everybody leave. We'll give you a few minutes to do so. No. Yeah, and we're not doing the first executive session.
I'm in the right place. First grade. She had those first graders doing things. I didn't want to leave. All of them. I remember a few of them. But I remember the Voorhees.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. All right, moving, excuse me, we do not have an executive session, or we do, but we're going to do it later. We're going to move to section 7. Can I get a motion to approve the board minutes of the May 7th, 2025 regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Online voting is open.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve the board minutes of the May 20th, 2025 special meeting?
So moved. Rosner.
Second, Rudder.
Online voting is open. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
motion unanimously passes.
Okay. I do have a couple of comments, so I apologize. I am going to read. Excuse me. So good evening, everyone, students, families, teachers, administrators, staff, and honored guests. It is my privilege as board president to sit before you at this moment of celebration, reflection, and anticipation for the future. Tonight, we gather not only to mark the end of another remarkable year, but to honor values that define our district: access, inclusion, and curriculum excellence, 3 pillars of education that guide everything we do. First and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to our entire district community for the successful opening of our new Early Childhood Education Center. This achievement is a testament to the time, effort, money, and resources invested by so many: our board, district leadership, teachers, staff, families, and community partners. It is the result of countless hours of planning, collaboration, and unwavering commitment to our youngest learners. This center is more than a building. It is a beacon of opportunity, ensuring that every child has access to a strong educational foundation from the very start. I had the honor of touring ECDC on Friday. I feel like that sounds like a band. But I had the honor of touring ECDC on Friday and learning so much about this amazing opportunity. ECDC represents a safe space for our most vulnerable children to socialize, to learn, to respect, to develop, to include, to communicate, to love, and to grow. Principal Lewis is truly exceptional, and I hope our district has the benefit of your experience and expertise for many years to come. You have implemented a truly transformative curriculum at ECDC that will not only give our littles the tools to be academic learners, but to be good, kind humans, which in today's world is a true gift. I also want to specifically call out Mr. Inge, who also gave us the tour. He is in a master's program in education, and his patience and love for children is so inspiring. He interacted with so many children by name and with a kindness and understanding that I found truly extraordinary. Notably, every classroom showcases pictures of the student's home family as part of their school family tree. I think it often gets lost that our teachers and classmates become our family, and that these connections and bonds have impactful influences in our lives. The pictures I saw embraced neuro, social, capable, gender, racial, and ethnic differences, a microcosm of our beautiful, diverse world. Getting back to my core pillars of education: access, inclusion, and curriculum excellence, I wanted to touch on a few other topics. Inclusion. At the heart of our schools, inclusion is at the heart of our schools. We are proud to celebrate Jewish Heritage Month, Pride Month, and Juneteenth this June. These observances remind us that our diversity is our strength. By honoring the histories, cultures, and identities of our students, of all our students and staff, we foster a community where everyone belongs and every voice matters. Curriculum excellence is our promise to challenge, inspire, and prepare every student for the future. This year, our educators have continued to innovate, adapt, and deliver learning experiences that ignite curiosity and build critical skills. We are deeply grateful for their dedication. As we gather for graduation and moving up ceremonies across the district, we celebrate not just academic achievement, but growth, resilience, and the journey each student has taken. To our graduates and those moving up, you are the reason we do this work. We are so proud of you. You carry with you the hopes of your families, the support of your teachers, and the dreams of our entire community. None of this would be possible without the tireless effort of our teachers, administrators, and staff. You are the heart and soul of our district. Thank you for your passion, your creativity, your unwavering belief in the potential of every child. You have shaped, guided, and raised the young adults who will lead us into the future. As we look forward to the summer and the promise of a new school year, let us continue to work together, board, staff, families, and community, to ensure that access, inclusion, and excellence remain at the core of all that we do. Congratulations to all, and thank you for making our district a place where every student can thrive. Thank you. Fire drills and safety drills are on the attachments. Harassment, intimidation, and bullying report is also attached, as are the suspensions for June 2025. We have an Oprah request that is now closed, and now superintendent report. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over the board secretary report. That is
Oh, that's
my
okay.
bad.
No
Yes.
problem, no problem. I'm going to give a little overview on the opening of the Voorhees Early Childhood Development Center. On June 2nd, 2025, it was a very exciting day. The Voorhees Early Childhood Development Center opened for preschool students. We had 93 students in attendance during the first week. A lot has been accomplished with the preschool program in the past 3 years. There's a picture of our building right now. We'll save the other ones for the end. Okay, good. Thank you. In July 2022, we were notified that the district was eligible to apply for the preschool expansion aid in order to provide full-day preschool to all students residing in Voorhees Township. In August 2022, as we were completing the construction of a 10-classroom addition to the Crescent Elementary School, we submitted the preschool expansion aid program application, and we were approved in September 2022 to begin full-day preschool on October 2nd, 2022. The goal, we call it PIA, it's preschool expansion aid. The goal of PIA is to reach your projected universe within a 5-year period. Our preschool universe is approximately 500 students. In the first year of the program, we used 4 classrooms in the new addition at Crescent and added 2 private providers. We have developed a strong partnership with these providers and are going into year 4 of the program with one of the providers adding an additional classroom for the 2025-26 school year. You'll see that under finance motion number 18.18. In order to meet the projected 500 students within the 5-year period, we needed additional classroom space. Mr. Mathis, our Director of Buildings and Grounds, noticed a potential building in the neighboring Gibbsboro in the fall of 2022. We also toured possible sites in Voorhees, but none were appropriate for a preschool. We first toured the Gibbsboro building in January 2023. We added the project to our long-range facilities plan at the architect's estimated cost of $18 million, which included the purchase of the building and renovations. From there, it was a 2-year journey. And the funny thing is May 30th of each of those years became a very crucial date. So on May 30th, 2023, we had a special board meeting where the purchase and sale agreement for the building at 250 Haddonfield Berlin Road in Gibbsboro was approved and signed and provided to the seller of the building. The application for a $6 million preschool facilities expansion grant was also submitted that day. Following state approval and planning board approval by the Borough of Gibbsboro in early 2024, we closed on the purchase of the building in April of 24. So it took almost a full year to be able to buy the building because there's many approvals that are done at the state level. And also we had, because it was in another town, probably even if it was in this town, but more importantly, because it was in another town, we had to go to planning board meetings because it was a change of use, because that was a skating rink and it was a doctor's office. And so it was definitely a change of use. So we had to go before the planning board on 3 occasions and get their approvals and also do a traffic study and get that approved. So that way we had the right flow of parent drop-offs and buses. So that took a full year. And then the state approved us maybe February of 24. And we were also approved for the grant at that point. So $6 million is a really big piece of the project that they awarded to us. So we closed on April 25th of 2024. Again, like I said, May 30th is an important date. So May 30th of 24, a year after we put in the application, we were opening construction bids to do the renovation of the ECDC building, and Weatherby Construction and Renovation Corp was the bidder that was awarded the contract. And then May 30th of 2025 was the last day before students arrived. We received a temporary certificate of occupancy on May 27th. And on May 30th, it was the very last day without students. The teachers set up that whole week and they were ready to go. And on June 2nd, the students arrived and it was an amazing day. Okay, now to go over some of the construction costs. The construction contract was awarded to Weatherby Construction in June 2024 for $14,598,000. This amount included an allowance of $300,000 built into the contract for unforeseen items or scope changes. There have been 3 change orders to the project, one of which was the change in scope or modification from a warming kitchen to a full service kitchen. Some of the allowance was applied to this modification. Some of the $300,000 allowance was applied to this, this project rather than calling it all a change order. The other 2 change orders, number 3 is on the agenda. tonight under 20.3 were related to code-related modifications required by officials from both Gibbsborough and Voorhees, as well as additional necessary adjustments. As I mentioned, the building is in Gibbsborough, so Gibbsborough was very involved in this project too, in that they had to approve anything that we did on the outside of the building. If we changed the windows, it had to be approved by them. The sidewalks, some sidewalk changes, some pavement changes, anything on the outside needed their approval from their engineer. And then the construction officials were from Voorhees. With the change orders, the contract has been increased to $15,244,376. If the cost of the added scope modification for the serving kitchen were separated out of the total, the change order portion would be $72,785 or 0.5%, which is less than 1%. So like I was mentioning, we awarded the contract for 14+ million. It's now 15+ million. In that number was an allowance. We applied, if we would pull out the kitchen altogether, because that was a change in scope, there would only be $72,785 in change orders, which is really amazing because those are things that are unforeseen or required by construction officials. And again, that's less than 1%. Overall, the contract increased by 4.43% if the kitchen modification is included in the analysis. And 4.43% on a $15 million project is also not a bad percentage. Why the modifications to the kitchen? The original architectural drawing included a warming kitchen since it was thought that meals could be transported from E.T. Hamilton. However, as the project progressed, it was determined that a full-service kitchen would better meet the needs of a building with 285 preschool students that would potentially be eating breakfast and lunch. Our population at VMS will pretty much mirror the population in this building. And based on the percentage of free and reduced students, we serve breakfast at that location. So this year we don't qualify for it, but once the count is done on October 15th, probably next year we will qualify for breakfast at this building. In addition, the enrollment at E.T. Hamilton increased significantly, making meals logistically too difficult for both E.T. Hamilton and the ECDC building. Finally, building a full-size kitchen would have reduced the available space for one of our classrooms. We did want to maximize classroom space, and as big as the building looks, we have 24 classrooms in there because each classroom has to be over 900 square feet. So the new kitchen is a smaller size kitchen with a walk-in freezer that is attached to the outside of the building. So rather than take up more space inside the building, the freezer was put on the outside. So it is a smaller kitchen, but it still serves the purpose. And also preschool students eat in their classrooms family style. The estimated completion date for the kitchen is the end of July 2025. For the remainder of this year, the lunches are being prepared and delivered from Signal Hill since E.T. Hamilton's enrollment is near capacity and the kitchen staff is dedicated to providing meals to their larger population of students. A bond referendum was not needed for this project. Many school districts, when they build a school or do an addition, they go out for a bond referendum, which means there's debt service and there's an increase in taxes. We did not need to do that. So a bond referendum was not needed for this project since there was capital reserve and grant funding awarded. The $18 million funding for this project was made up of $12 million from capital reserve and $6 million from the preschool facilities expansion grant. As I mentioned, we have 93 students right now. I think it may have even gone up, but we are receiving an overwhelming response for the 25-26 preschool registration. In addition, there's two other items related to the preschool on this agenda. Finance item 18.26 is a shared service agreement with the Voorhees Township Police Department. We have to have an SRO in the building, obviously, and right now we're supplying that SRO. Gibbsborough didn't have someone available. So we're adding one police officer to an existing shared service agreement for this school. The cost will be shared with Gibbsborough at their percentage of 21% starting in September. We are billing them for their share of the classrooms. They have 5 classrooms, we have 19. That comes to 21%. So anything we share, we bill them for at 21% of the cost. So the SRO will be billed to them at that. There's also a shared service agreement with Camden County for solar-powered flashing advanced school warning beacon signs. And what that means is that there's signs that are going to be out on 561, which is Haddonfield Berlin Road, just indicating that there's a school up ahead. Those are solar-powered. and they're already included in the Weatherby contract. So it's not an additional cost. It's already built in. But we found out that Camden County requires us to have a shared service agreement since it's in their right of way on the street. And so we will own the signs and we will maintain the signs. So that's everything relating to the VECDC on the agenda. But I wanted to show you some really neat pictures because we're so proud of this, and you can see how far we've come. So again, this is the outside the building. It says north entrance. That's where all of the parent drop-offs occur. And also the bus students get dropped off in the back and they walk in that entrance. So that's where most of the students will be entering all the time. If you could go to the next one, please. That's the front of the building, just from an angle, and that's where our main office is, and that's where the SRO is up front. Okay, now this is the neat part, I think. When we first went in the building and toured it, that's what the atrium looked like. So you can see a lot of brown, whatever, very open, but still kind of dark looking. So that's how it looked when we first saw the building. Okay, you can go to the next one. And that's how it looks now. So we're so excited with that. It's so bright, it's so colorful and clean and just happy looking. But I like seeing the change from how it was when we looked at it to how it looks now. And I think it's amazing. If you can go to the next slide. Okay, that's upstairs and that shows a corner of the building, and it was pretty much empty up there. So you can see the different beams that were built into the building and the windows and so forth. That's how it looked when we first toured it. If you can go to the next slide, that's the same room now. You can see that beam is now covered with drywall and so forth. And in a renovation, you have to keep certain parts of the building and you just work around it, which makes each classroom very unique. And this particular one, you can see the beam is still in the classroom and you can see those windows, but that's the same corner that I took a picture of when we toured it. So I think that's really neat to see before and after. The next, okay, you can go to the next one. This is the playground. Now the playground is situated right next to the senior center that they have, the senior building. And we actually leased that land from them because that's not part of the building. So that is for our preschool use, but it's also for the community's use after hours. Okay, next one. Okay, now this is a video of a classroom. So our furniture provider vendor videoed a classroom. This is on the first floor, also a corner room. And you'll see like where the walls come out in different places, again, because we build out around the walls. And like I said, each room is very unique and very different, and they situate the furniture accordingly. So there's all little corners that the students can do their activities in. It seems a little laggy, sorry, but we're going to put these on our website anyway, but we just wanted to share it with you so you could see what it looks like. The colors are all different. Like there's several color palettes throughout the classrooms, and this one is, those three colors. That's a little, I forget what they call, cozy corner or something, but it's really cute. And the teachers, I think they were excited. When I took a tour before it opened, they were all super excited. And so you can see like there's pillars in that classroom, which maybe another one doesn't have that. But again, that's what happens when you renovate a building, which I think really does make each classroom unique. So we just wanted to share that with you because we're super excited, and it was a neat process to see it from start to finish, and we are really proud. So thank you.
Superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. I just have two announcements. First, I want to announce that BMS, Voorhees Middle School, is introducing something new and exciting this year. On June 18th, our 8th grade students will return to their respective elementary schools for a walk of celebration through the building. So we're so excited. This special visit gives elementary teachers the chance to see and congratulate their former students as they prepare for high school. It also provides a powerful moment of inspiration for our younger students as they witness the success and growth of those who walked the same halls before them. So we're very excited about that. I will definitely be in one of the schools on June 18th to see that. And as the year closes, I just want to say that as we close out this school year, I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation for our parents, our staff, board members, community members, and students for your unwavering partnership and commitment to our shared vision. Together, we have worked through some challenges, some celebrated milestones, and continue to build a learning community centered on growth, inclusion, and excellence. As we reflect on the accomplishments of this year, let us look ahead with optimism, purpose, and a renewed energy. The 25-26 school year holds great promise. And I'm confident that through continued collaboration, transparency, and dedication, the district will reach greater heights. Thank you.
Okay, excuse me. So we are moving to a public hearing specifically on the superintendent's proposed amendment to the superintendent's contract. I will ask our board solicitor to provide a summary of the proposed revisions. And then she'll also provide a brief explanation of the legal process for amending the contract so that it's clear to the public.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So just to give you a little bit of an understanding of what we're doing, under the education laws in New Jersey, superintendent contracts can only be 3, 4, or 5 years. Now, anytime you amend a superintendent's contract, you have to go through this process, which we're going through tonight, which is just called a hearing. It's just we advertise that there's going to be action taken to amend the contract. And then there's an explanation of the changes. There's an opportunity for the board to ask questions, and then there'll be an opportunity for the public to comment. So that's what we're doing tonight. So the proposed amendment that's on the agenda tonight for the board's consideration is to extend Dr. Hackett's current 3-year contract to a 5-year contract. So we're just adding 2 years onto it. All of the terms and conditions remain the same. The increment year over year remains the same, which is 2.5%. And that's it. So it'll convert the 3-year contract to a 5-year contract. And that's it. I mean, typically I'm giving a little bit more of a spiel when I'm doing these, but this is a really straightforward, simple modification. So I'm happy to answer any questions that the board members might have. And if there are none, then I will turn it back to the board president to open for public comment. Any questions I can answer? Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. Open for public comment for this particular portion. Okay, seeing none. Moving to 12.3, can I get a motion to approve the 2-year contract extension for Dr. Neely Hackett through the 2026-2027 school year as approved by the Executive County Superintendent for Camden County?
So moved, Rudder.
Second, Cadover.
Online voting is open. Mr. Bryce?
Yes.
Motion unanimously passes.
Congratulations. Audience participation. Anyone wishing to address the board, please approach the side table on the right and write your name and address on the login sheet. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, the board will now hear comments from the public relating to the items on the agenda for the board meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting of any action the board does take. Okay, moving to the business portion of the meeting. As we move into the business portion of our meeting, we want to recognize that it may appear as if the board takes action with very little comment and in many cases a unanimous vote. Excuse me. Before an item is placed on the board agenda, it is thoroughly reviewed by the superintendent and administration. The superintendent then presents the recommended action to the appropriate board committee and works with the committee to ensure that the members fully understand that recommendation. Once the committee is satisfied, the item is placed on a board agenda for discussion and action at a public meeting. The board agendas are made available to the board members several days in advance of the meeting, giving us ample time to review the agenda and have all of our questions answered. Further, we are kept up to date between meetings on ongoing work of the administration and important issues in the district. All of these efforts ensure that we are well informed and prepared to take action at our meetings. Moving to our committee reports. Academic excellence, Ms. Cadover, could you provide a report, please?
Yes, but I think you skipped policy.
Oh, it's not on, oh, you know what, I'm jumping, sorry. Policy committee report. Ms. Branch Stewart, could you please provide a report?
Sure. Good evening. The Policy Committee met on June 3rd for about a half hour. Dr. Hackett, Mr. Moskowitz, and board members Julie Cadover, Crystal Munyon, and I were present. No policies or regulations were reviewed for first read. For second read, the committee members who attended and participated in the meeting decided to further consider some substantive tweaks to policy 0164.1, conduct of board members during public meetings. And that's based on relevant feedback from our May board meeting. As such, the participating committee members recommend that the full board vote, recommend that the full board table this evening's vote on this policy until after the board's July break. For discussion, the committee decided to revisit the district strategic plan after the board's July break as well, to allow for some meaningful thought on our goals over the summer. We also had a very interesting discussion regarding a possible new initiative to engage and involve district stakeholders with the board's policy work. And lastly, I, as the chair of the policy committee, took the time to thank those members of the policy committee who consistently show up to our committee meetings and do the work. Work which involves lots of document review, wordsmithing, interacting with and actively listening to other committee members, board members, stakeholders, and our hired professionals, weighing pros and cons of revisions, additions, deletions, researching and staying abreast of current trends and movements in public education, and much more, all with the spirit of thoughtfulness and collaboration. This work is not easy, it's not glamorous, and it does not and should not come with much, if any, individual recognition. Instead, it's the committee members' commitment to the collective good of the district and the willingness to engage without ego, without virtue signaling, and without seeking personal credit that I wanted to recognize as we head into the summer. Our next meeting is scheduled for August. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for the Academic Excellence Committee report. Ms. Cadover?
Sure. Okay, so we met on June 2nd, and we had a few topics for discussion. First, we discussed the draft assessment schedule for the 2025-2026 school year. Mr. Moskowitz will be meeting with lead teachers in elementary and middle schools to go over the schedule and confirm it works for everyone and is in accordance with state openings of tests. Some additional benchmarking for the sake of clarity has been added, and teachers will be providing feedback to finalize the schedule. We then looked at a K-3 screener and a grant application, which I believe we got. We got the grant for the K-3 screener. So the state of New Jersey has taken an interest in K-3 testing and screening because there is a concern across the state with literacy. So thankfully, we're ahead of the game and that we already use the iReady for a diagnostic. So now we're going to be using the diagnostic and the screener, which will give us additional information about what interventions might be required for students. And the goal would be to give both in the fall. We feel more prepared to do some training now that we have guidance from the state. Students identified as needing more help would get both again in the winter. The others would only get the diagnostic. And in the spring, everyone would get both again. The primary purpose, again, of this new mandate is to support intervention and structures earlier in the elementary school years. We then took a look at our Saturday Spectacular survey results, and we're pleased to hear that there was overwhelming enjoyment from the students. We got heavy participation in the survey from the Lego Club attendees, so that was a big hit. Most students said they would recommend the clubs to a friend. Some of the outcomes of the endeavors: the kids made new friends, they learned something new, they enjoyed school on Saturdays, wow. And the new clubs they'd want for the future are friendship bracelets and science lab. So we're gonna be looking at that. The next topic for consideration was with the WIN summer work. So in alignment with Wonders, we are going to be doing some summer work for the WIN program. This would include resource packets and small group lessons. This is to add structure to the program. It would be aligned again to the Reading the Wonders program. This will be created this summer to improve consistency across all WIN programs in all schools for incoming second graders. And this is on our agenda tonight. Okay, the Genesis Parent Portal. So the survey will be going out that will be asking for information about the frequency of participation in the portal for the teachers. We are going to review feedback at the end of the summer, and the intent is to share the portal with parents.
grade 6 to 8 will be open for students to be able to see their portal information, 2 to 5 just for parents. So again, the survey will be asking for teacher feedback around the time that they need to put in grades and time to put in updates. For our last topic of consideration was the strategic plan. And because Mrs. Rutter was not able to attend this last meeting, we agreed to postpone that conversation until August when we could be a full committee and had some time to reflect over the summer. And that's my report.
Great, thank you so much. Moving to 16.2. Can I get, a motion to approve all of the items under curriculum?
So moved, Rosner.
My computer is malfunctioning.
Second, Rosen.
Online voting is open. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
unanimously passes.
Mr. Rosner, can I have a personnel committee report?
Yes. The Personnel Committee met last Thursday, June 6th. In attendance was myself, Ms. Watson, Ms. Rutter, Dr. Hackett, and Mr. Moskowitz. We discussed 2 confidential personnel matters. We discussed the district goals for the 25-26 year, which we agreed we would review again and provide any additional input. We discussed reducing registered behavior technicians from 15 to 10 to create more full-time IA positions. We changed the approved, we talked about approving a change to a teacher vacancy to a board certified behavioral analyst position. We spoke about the transfer of some positions to Crescent based off of need and population of the district. We discussed the reposting of the early childhood director position. We also discussed the strategic plan committee was seeking some input from the committees, which we will provide. We discussed the 26-27 calendar, which is not on tonight's agenda, but will be in August. And we discussed hiring staff over the summer and ratifying it on the August agenda. So, thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under personnel as recommended by the superintendent?
So moved, Rutter.
Second, Stewart.
Online voting is open. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
the motion unanimously passes.
Mr. Rosen, can I have a finance committee report, please?
Yes. The Finance Committee met on Wednesday, June 4th. Myself was joined with Julie Ketover, Crystal Minion, Dr. Hackett, Helen Haley, and Daniel Curie. We discussed all the items on tonight's meeting agenda under Finance, Transportation, and Building Grounds for a vote. And we recommend approval of all the items on the agenda. We discussed a variety of pending items where complete documentation is not yet available and therefore not up for a vote tonight, which included purchases of equipment and improvements to school buildings and properties, progress payments on construction projects, funding grants, and donations. These will be on future meeting agendas. We had extended discussions on meal prices, available fund balance, and operating deficit in the meal program. The decision by the committee was not to increase meal prices for the 2025-2026 school year. We had extended discussions on the Voorhees Early Childhood Development Center design considerations, construction cost, and change orders, those necessitated by the Gibbsboro and Voorhees townships and discretionary. The district is to present an update, which they did earlier at today's meeting, on the construction cost versus the budget, the initial enrollment, and early enrollment expectations for September 2025. We had an exchange of ideas to increase the cost efficiency of student busing. The demographic report is being distributed to the board, and there was a discussion about a future street study, and that was for the purpose of to continue the efficient use of existing school building capacity. The next finance committee will be August 20th, 2025.
Great, thank you. And thank you to all of our committee chairs for putting in all the extra time so that we all are incredibly well prepared and that we run much more efficiently. I'm incredibly proud of how well run we are moving forward due to the changes that we've made in the structure. So thank you. Motion to approve all of the items under finance.
So moved, Rosen.
Second, Mannion.
Online voting is open. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under transportation?
So moved, Rosen.
Second, Rudder.
Online voting is open. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
motion unanimously passes.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under buildings and grounds?
So moved,
Mannion.
Rosen.
Second, Mannion.
Mhm.
Online voting is open. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
motion unanimously passes.
Public comment, anyone wishing to address the board, please approach the side table on the right and write your name and address on the login sheet. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, the board will now hear comments from the public. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting of any action the board does take. Oh, we have a quiet crowd tonight. Oh, because Mr. Pettit-Demange is not here. Okay, seeing no comments. Board member comments.
I'd like to make a few comments.
Yes,
Great. All right.
thank you.
So the United States observes a variety of heritage months that honor the many communities that shape our diverse nation, including Black History Month, Women's History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Jewish Heritage Month, and Pride Month. These celebrations offer opportunities to learn from one another, recognize the richness of our shared history, and reinforce the bonds that unite us as a society. May was Jewish American Heritage Month. Its purpose is to celebrate Jewish Americans and encourage all Americans to learn more about Jewish heritage and contributions to the United States, and to promote awareness about the challenges and struggles Jews have faced throughout history. There is a significant Jewish population in Voorhees. Despite Jewish Americans making up just 2% of the population, 68% of all reported religion-based hate crimes affect Jewish people. It is undeniable that anti-Semitism has gained popularity and is rampant in social media posts on TikTok, Instagram, and X, although I'm not sure how many kids are on that platform. But our kids consume that content. And my hope is that we can teach our children that while every person is unique, everyone also shares fundamental similarities. They have people that love them. Mother, father, caretaker, guardians, siblings, and friends. They have hopes, dreams, wishes, and fears. And I would like to highlight particularly that the actions of any government or movement are not the same as the actions, thoughts, and feelings of a single person from that group. We should try to listen to others' fears, hopes, and dreams, and try to have empathy for people who are different from you. I know that this district treats everyone with respect and addresses hate based on race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. All people are welcome here, and this district believes and practices that. I know that the board wholeheartedly believes it too. So this is sort of a long comment, so thank you for bearing with me. This also fits nicely into June, which is LGBTQ plus Pride, and also known as Pride Month. So the purpose is to celebrate and honor LGBTQ plus community, recognizing their history, struggles, and achievements, and the ongoing fight for equality and acceptance. Again, there's children and others in our community that identify as part of this community, including members of the board. And this community is often under attack in society at large today. And why is this important, especially for our youth? The LGBTQ plus has a high suicide rate, especially amongst the youth, and higher for transgender and non-binary children. Same with mental health challenges. It's super high. So it's important to support the LGBTQ plus community because doing so affirms the fundamental rights and dignity of individuals who have been historically marginalized, discriminated against, and excluded. And supporting these folks, especially the youth, reduces those rates of depression and suicide that disproportionately affect them. So again, this district and all people are welcome here, and we believe and practice that. I know the board also believes in that, and happy Pride Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go, just to make sure everybody has heard. Ms. Verdi, do you have any comments?
I also just find it interesting that I'm the one you go to first, because I think that you want me to be able to go, let the rest of the board go after me so that they can respond, and then I don't have an opportunity to respond to them. But anyway, good evening, everyone. While it is not yet on the agenda for a vote tonight, I want to take a moment to reiterate my concerns regarding policy 0164.1. While the policy committee has chosen to table the vote until after our July break, the committee report contained no indication that meaningful revisions are forthcoming. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the policy committee meeting due to traveling for work, but realistically, it doesn't matter, as the policy committee chair has made clear that she, and I quote, "will never agree with anything I say." My voice and opinion is not welcome in the policy committee, and that's what this policy is about at its core. As I expressed at our previous meeting, my deep concern lies with the fact that this policy in its current form stifles essential open and robust dialogue and is ripe for misuse. The essence of effective governance and the foundation of a thriving educational environment is the ability for board members to openly voice diverse opinions, offer constructive criticism, and engage in thoughtful debate without fear of undue restriction or censor. Our board's responsibility is to represent a variety of voices and perspectives within our community. Healthy dissent is not only a sign of strength, but a critical tool for growth and improvement. Policies that curtail open communication undermine our commitment to transparency, accountability, and continual advancement of our schools. Therefore, I urge the policy committee and this entire board to reject 0164.1. On another note, as we celebrate Pride Month, I want to extend a heartfelt happy Pride to everyone in our community, especially our LGBTQIA+ identifying students, staff, and families. I didn't feel safe coming out until I was in my early 20s, and I know firsthand the importance of visibility, affirmation, and solidarity. Your identities, experiences, and voices are invaluable and enrich our schools immeasurably. You are seen, appreciated, and deeply supported, and I am proud to be in community amongst you. I want to thank Mr. Rosner for speaking out as well. We need more allies. I also want to address that it's also Migraine and Headache Awareness Month, an important time to recognize the impact of these invisible neurological disorders have on our families, our workforce, and especially our students. Headache disorders impact 1 in 4 households in the US and include 200 different diagnoses. They are much more than just a headache. Migraine alone is the leading cause of disability for young women in this country. But what's less talked about is how deeply it affects children and students. 17% of children live with migraine or other headache disorder. And when we get to adolescence, that number actually jumps up to 28%. Children with migraine and headache disorders may miss school frequently and is actually a leading cause of chronic absenteeism. Students may struggle in environments with bright lights and loud sounds or strong scents and fall behind academically. Not because they lack the ability, but because their condition is misunderstood and there's just not enough treatment options or support in the school setting. For working adults like our faculty, presenteeism and absenteeism are impactful. I'm someone who lives with high frequency migraine. I'm also the parent of a child in this district who lives with migraine. And just a few months ago, my child experienced an 11-day migraine attack that landed him in the emergency department. He missed 2 weeks of school, not just due to pain and vomiting, but severe vertigo that required him to be horizontal the whole time. Again, it's so much more than just a headache. And I just want to say that I've seen my child be met with compassion and support by many, especially his teacher, but also sadly skepticism and dismissal by others. And that's the reality many families face fighting not just a medical condition, but the stigma around it. Thankfully, in December 2024, after nearly 2 years of work on this, I'm thrilled to share that the U.S. Department of Education issued a new guidance memorandum recognizing migraine as a condition that may require accommodations under Section 504 in IDEA. Whether it's dimming classroom lights, shifting to a fragrance-free school district policy, or better educating our students and staff, I think there's so much more we can do. And I urge our district's leadership and staff to review the guidance carefully and commit to making our schools more inclusive for students living with invisible disabilities like migraine and headache disorders. Finally, as we close this academic year, I want to wish everyone a safe, restful, and joyful summer break. May you return refreshed and inspired for another year of learning and growing together. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you for sharing about your child. I'm so sorry that he suffered that. Mr. Bryce, any comments?
No, I have no comment.
Thank you. Ms. Mannion.
Yes, I do. So we've reached the end of another amazing year filled with so many incredible experiences. I want to share a few of mine tonight. I've talked about my son having an IEP in the past. As a result, he has several teachers each year, usually at least 4, and that doesn't count the specials. I am blown away that every single teacher we have encountered over the past 3 years has been remarkable. My family is better because of each and every one of them. These experiences began when my son was in kindergarten, long before I thought about running for the board. Now that I'm a board member, I have had the honor and privilege of witnessing how much time and effort goes into making these individualized educational plans. The work each of you puts into both the planning and the execution is a reflection of who you are as people and the character and integrity with which you carry yourself. You are greatly appreciated. I want to take a moment to recognize the teacher and staff members that have played the most significant role in my son's development this year. Ms. Greenwood, you have been an excellent spearhead for Dylan's 2nd grade experience, working with the various teachers to ensure his day is as seamless as he moves through the different classrooms and working with him to grow his confidence in the larger class setting. We are grateful for you. Ms. Gillespie, you have been his person for 3 years now, his anchor in a journey marked by a lot of change. I remember when we started this journey and I expressed how important it was that we keep his love of learning intact as we navigated the IEP plan each year. Well, you have far exceeded that ask, rooting a deep love of learning into his spirit and a trust that is beyond measure. Thank you for being everything that you are. Ms. Mazurek, you have a gift for teaching these kids reaching these kids exactly where they are and bringing them further than they knew they could go.
You've given him a space to be confident in who he is, proud of the work he accomplishes, and courageous to question and explore. We appreciate you. Ms. Snyder, I had no idea that so many lessons could be woven into speech. You have taught him about the history of people like Ruby Bridges, the art of storytelling, the finesse of navigating friendship. I am in awe of the gift you have and feel blessed that my son has gotten to learn from you these past years. Mr. Koch, thank you is insufficient. You have worked with us each year to develop an IEP that takes all of Dylan's experiences and needs into account. You are approachable, measured, diplomatic, and kind. Every question I have is welcomed, every concern is considered, and you are consistently available, not just for me, but for Dylan. Having a male role model that is in his corner has been such a gift for him. And Dr. Alegria, our special education division was historically an area of needed growth. When you joined the district, you hit the ground running, enhancing our services significantly these past few years. Our district services have grown immensely under your leadership. Thank you for the support and resources you provide that enable our district to be such a success. So thank you for another amazing year and the gift you have all given us by choosing to work in our district. We are who we are because we have teachers and administrators like you. I hope you all have an amazing summer. It is much deserved.
Thank you. Ms. Cutover.
Okay, I have a long one too. All right. Good evening. As we approach the end of another school year, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude. First and foremost, I want to extend heartfelt thanks to the teachers and staff of Voorhees. Your unwavering dedication to our students is the heartbeat of this district. It is because of your passion, your resilience, and your tireless commitment that we can continue to grow, innovate, and thrive. Your work is seen, felt, and profoundly appreciated. The success of our district is a direct reflection of your extraordinary efforts. I also want to recognize my colleagues. Mrs. Watson, your leadership continues to be a guiding force. You captain the ship with strength, clarity, and vision. Your integrity lights the path forward, and we are fortunate to be led by you. Mrs. Munyon, you dove into the deep end with courage and conviction. Your contributions to the policy and finance committees have already left a significant mark. Your background has been particularly vital to our financial oversight. We are better as a board because of your wisdom and commitment. To our committee chairs, thank you for your leadership during a year of structural change and deeper committee engagement. Mr. Rosner, you lead personnel with thoughtfulness and compassion, always centering the human impact of our decisions. Mrs. Rudder, you bring a wealth of experience and imagination to your leadership of academic excellence and technology, pushing us to think beyond the conventional. Mr. Bryce, your deep cultural sensitivity and counseling lens have been instrumental in your stewardship of the Ad Hoc Student Discipline Committee. You bring heart and perspective to critical conversations. Mr. Rosen, your financial acumen and structural rigor have brought clarity to the Finance Committee, and your innovating ideas have strengthened our fiscal responsibility. Mrs. Branch Stewart, your powerful leadership of the Policy Committee is marked by vision and vigilance. You take note of emerging trends in education, staying ahead of the curve, anticipating what's next, and ensuring we are prepared to meet the future. I feel lucky to work with such brilliant and collaborative board colleagues. And now I must take a moment to echo some of my colleagues and to honor what I believe is one of the most extraordinary accomplishments of this district in recent memory, the opening of the Voorhees Early Childhood Development Center. I had the privilege of touring the facility today, and it left me nearly speechless. What has been achieved here is nothing short of transformational. Special thanks to Principal Lewis for taking such extraordinary time with us, and to your dedicated staff for explaining everything and giving us really a VIP tour. To Ms. Haley, Dr. Hackett, and your incredible teams, your diligence, foresight, and creativity have turned a bold idea into a living reality. From identifying a rare and remarkable grant opportunity, to securing and preparing a suitable building, to forming a unique partnership with another district, every step of this journey reflects your ingenuity and heart. And all of it was accomplished without increasing the tax burden on Voorhees residents. This is extraordinary. This center is more than a new building. It is a promise kept. a promise that every eligible preschool-aged child in Voorhees will now have access to a strong educational foundation. This initiative will strengthen our community for generations to come. When I moved to Voorhees 21 years ago, there was no preschool. There was not even full-day kindergarten. Families had to pay significant out-of-pocket costs for early education. What we have today is not just a change, it's progress. Merriam-Webster offers several definitions of progress. One is an ornate royal journey marked by pomp and pageantry. Well, that one's not entirely relevant, but another is simply this: gradual betterment. That is what we are witnessing now. This new preschool represents the very essence of progress. It has made our district stronger, our community more vibrant, and our future brighter. We are, quite simply, better. To everyone who had a hand in making this vision real, thank you. Your tireless efforts, collaborative spirit, and bold thinking have given our children and our town a gift beyond measure. Thank you all. Here's to continued progress, purpose, and pride in Voorhees. Have a wonderful summer.
Thank you. Mr. Rosen, any comments? Great, thank you. Mr. Rosner already spoke. Ms. Rutter?
I did not have any comments, but I see Mrs. Tadley here today, and I have to just give her a huge shout out. When Mr. Moskowitz was stepping out of the principal role at E.T. Hamilton, as a parent, it's always a little nerve-wracking when you know that the person in charge is leaving and you're not sure who's going to take over and what changes they're going to make. I had a conversation with Mrs. Tadley at the end of last year, which was her first year, where we talked about how it's always hard to be the new kid, and it's always hard when you transition into your first year at something. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for always being approachable and always keeping the children in mind. And I cannot wait to hear about you getting pied in the face next week. You're the best. You really are the best. Thank you for all that you do.
Ms. Branch Stewart?
Yes. So I join in President Watson's and Vice President Kedover's comments regarding our new Early Childhood Development Center. What an amazing accomplishment this is for Dr. Hackett, our administration, and our district. And I certainly want to join in the recognition of the knowledge and the enthusiasm already shown by our newest district principal, Ms. Lewis. Thank you for your hard work in helping to get the preschool to opening day this school year. And we are excited to have you and your staff shaping the minds of our newest and youngest learners. I want to also join in Mr. Rosner's comments about the importance of Awareness Month, and in particular Jewish Heritage Month and Pride Month, recognizing the vast contributions and influence of the Jewish and the LGBTQ+ communities. The commitment of this administration, the district, and probably most importantly, our teachers and our classroom aides, to also recognizing important observances like Filipino Heritage Month, Caribbean Heritage Month, Black Music Month, each one a reminder of the rich diversity in our classrooms and in our community, should not go without recognition. One of the most meaningful changes we made this year was the decision to add Eid and Diwali to the school calendar. We know that the shift caused real inconvenience for some, especially for our teachers and staff, who had to adjust both personal and professional plans. And we want to acknowledge that. Change, even when it's for the right reasons, isn't always easy. But this change mattered, and it sent a clear message to our students and our families. Your faith and your traditions are seen and respected here. Our kids are increasingly seeing themselves and their families reflected in the lessons that are being taught, the materials that are being used to teach them, and in activities like Signal Hills Around the World celebration going on now that are being integrated into our curriculum. Thank you for your commitment to equity and inclusion, even in a time of turbulence. Lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't end on a mention of the upcoming Juneteenth holiday. More than just a historical milestone, this holiday that celebrates the effective end of slavery in the US is a symbol of resilience, fact-based truth-telling, and of the work that still lies ahead of us. When we recognize Juneteenth in our schools, which we do, we recognize that it's not just a day off. Excuse me, when we recognize Juneteenth in our schools, which we do, not just with the day off, but with activities and plans that our teachers and staff are integrating into the curriculum, we're not just checking a box. We're helping all students learn a fuller and more accurate version of American history. So with that, I thank our educators for all of the work they did this year for our kids, for my kids. And I wish everyone a great and peaceful summer. Thank you.
I just want to do one shout out to Mr. Mathis. I know you're getting ready to go into busy season, but I cannot thank you enough for keeping our schools clean, safe, secure, and beautiful at all times. So thank you so much. And I know you're gonna have a lot of projects coming up. Okay, we are going to move into executive session. We will not be long, but I won't give a time frame. But we will return. Do we have action when we return? No, we have no action when we return. And as a preview, our next meeting is August 25th. We're all up for the summer. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn to executive?
So moved.
Second, Rudder.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to return from executive session?
So moved, Rosner.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next meeting is August 25th, 2025. Have a wonderful summer for all. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Feel better, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you.